Hello, this is Mr. Yang. Today we'll be taking some notes on cell division. I know on Canvas there's been some assignments on mitosis, but this is just to make everything a little clearer and to simplify everything for you guys. First, we need to define some terms, and it is the word nucleus. The nucleus is one of the organelles inside of a cell. It is on the center. I'm just drawing the nucleus in this case. And inside the nucleus, it has a DNA, which are instructions for the cell and what the cell can do, how it can make more of itself. DNA is basically our instructions for the cell. And one new term is chromosomes. Chromosomes are made out of DNA. It is when a cell is ready to divide, the nucleus actually just kind of dissolve itself, and the DNA inside just kind of comes out, and the cell would actually rearrange the DNA into almost an X shape, which is called a chromosome. Inside of a normal human cell, there are 46 chromosomes altogether, and they're actually arranged in pairs of 23. I know that sounds a little complicated, but all you need to know is that the DNA inside of the nucleus kind of comes out and turn into an X shape, which is called a chromosome. There are a lot of chromosomes inside of a cell, but I'm just going to draw one to represent it because I don't want to draw a bunch of chromosomes every time I draw a new cell. So a chromosome is basically made out of DNAs. All right, there are two main ways that that cells make more of themselves actually. And the two processes, one of them we kind of already talked about on Canvas, it is mitosis. And the second one, which we're introducing here in this video, is meiosis. And just to go over on the pronunciation, mitosis is mitosis. I do remember in SpongeBob, this episode where Squidward laughed his butt off because he thought mitosis was funny. And the other one is I know it's the MEI kind of sound, but it's kind of an MY sound, meiosis. Okay, so what are these two things? Mitosis is a process when one cell makes two copies of the exact same cell. And what this will look like is, let's say this is our cell in the beginning. We're going to just draw the chromosome inside of it because it's ready to divide and make more. And it's going to make two cells. So imagine they all look the same, okay? Two cells with the same DNA inside of it, same chromosomes, which is an exact copy of itself. And let's do meiosis. Meiosis is a little different. Instead of just making one cell making two copies, it's actually one cell making four cells that each have half of the DNA. So what does that mean, right? That sounds a little more complicated, but it's not really that complicated. I'm going to draw it once again. So let's say we have the one original cell with the DNA inside of it. And the cell actually divides twice, basically. You don't divide once, and you don't do the same thing as mitosis. You don't create two cells with the exact same DNA. But then you'll divide one more time, where each of these cells now divide into another cell, but with only half the DNA. I'm going to show that by just drawing, I guess, only one part of the X. Same thing for this cell. It's going to be only half the DNA. So you end up with So you have one cell right here. It turns into two cells that are exactly the same. It's not exactly the same, but just imagine it is. And these cells turn into another two cells for four altogether. And each of these cells only have half of the DNA of the original. All right, so why are there two different ways that cells divide, right? So what is the purpose of having two different methods? So meiosis, this actually makes a lot of sense. It is used in something called sexual reproduction. So basically, these cells that are created with only half the DNA would become either sperm cells or egg cells. And so each of these have only half the DNA. And you guys know when a female and a male combine the DNAs together and create a baby, and they combine a sperm cell and an egg cell. So if I'm going to draw, for example, it'll be, let's say this is the egg cell with half the DNA from the mother, and it'll combine with a sperm cell with, let's say, half the DNA from the father. So both of these have half from two different parents, and they combine together and create a new being, which is, you guys, with different DNA than either of the parents, because it's half of them combined with the other half. So meiosis' main purpose is for sexual reproduction, which is getting these cells with half the DNA, so that you can combine them with another being and create a completely new creature. And opposite of this, mitosis is asexual reproduction. So it is asexual reproduction. And all asexual means is that the word a means not, so it is not sexual. So asexual reproduction would be a cell making a copy of cells to either repair itself. So let's say if you ever have a wound or a cut on your skin and it heals, that would be mitosis, because your cells are making more of itself. Or another common way is when your body is growing, which it is puberty right now. A lot of your bodies are growing, and that will be your body's cells dividing, making more copies of cells, so your body can get bigger and bigger. So these are two primary ways that cells divide. It's mitosis and meiosis. They have different purpose. Mitosis being able to just make an exact copy of a cell, and in order to repair wounds or to grow your body. And meiosis, on the other hand, is to make a cell with only half of the DNA, so that it can be used in the egg or in the sperm in order to create a new being. Alright, so this is pretty much it. Let me know if you guys have any questions, either through the comments or send me a message on Canvas or at the online office hours.